And I thank our MC, Laura Jays, for her exceptional professionalism in the last 2 days. I thank our technical teams who have juggled an extraordinary national undertaking. The first national plan, which we see concluding next year, was successful as driving an impetus in this country on these issues for one very important reason. And that's because the states and territories and the Commonwealth came together, notwithstanding their political differences, notwithstanding perhaps different perspectives, but because they were able 10 years ago to make that commitment to work together. I would be deeply concerned if that non-partisan approach was to be thrown away by some now for their own reasons. I'm absolutely convinced that a constructive, collaborative and engaged approach across governments in this country, across service providers and community organisations and the individuals who perhaps can tell us the most, is the only way to progress the next steps out of a new national plan. A national plan that is focused on early intervention and prevention, that is focused on response measures, that does address the many challenges that we're dealing with. It's really important to remember that this summit didn't just come about in the last 5 minutes, that this summit is the culmination of about a year of consultations for the national plan, that it has brought together over 200 organisations represented across its participants, that over 390 people have been invited and have registered to attend, and many, many more that we have all heard from in the last few days have been online and watched the live stream. A very, very powerful live stream, in fact, one of the most moving and impressive contributions from so many people that you could ever hope to see on this issue. And from the Commonwealth's perspective, we have worked constructively and collaboratively with the states and territories, and we've welcomed that input and moved past so many of the political differences that bedevil governments these days, exacerbated by clickbait efforts on social media, exacerbated by small-minded political point scoring, when we are in fact together so much stronger and so much more than that. So I encourage everyone who walks away from this summit today, everyone who has contributed and taken part, all of the women's safety ministers across the states and territories and the Commonwealth who have contributed to the planning and the development of this summit, their officials, their teams, their delegates, to walk away with that spirit of a constructive approach and contribution, and not to reduce it to something that it should not be. I would note that as a Commonwealth, we made a very significant contribution in the development of the Women's Budget Statement in May of this year, including what was then a record investment of over $1 billion to prevent and respond to violence against women and their children.